Today, we're going to build an AI WhatsApp bot for your Airbnb business that's going to change the way you interact with your guests. Okay, so we're going to use Botpress to power the chatbot, and we're going to seamlessly integrate it with WhatsApp so that it can offer instant replies to your guests' inquiries. Okay, but that's not all. This bot will also collect valuable feedback and concerns and organize them neatly on a spreadsheet so that you can review them. You will also be able to feed your chatbot some documentation so that if the user has any specific inquiries about your Airbnb, it will be able to answer them without a problem. Let's get to it. So the software that we will be using today is Botpress. I've been using Botpress for a while and I truly recommend it for people that are getting started with making chatbots. I see a lot of people making YouTube videos with chatbots that require other applications such as VoiceFlow. Although I think it's a good software to use, I do think it's a bit expensive and it does scare a lot of people that are getting into this space, right? And to be fair, a lot of the capabilities that VoiceFlow offers can be done by Botpress. VoiceFlow is $50 a month. Botpress is free. You only need to pay as you go. And VoiceFlow only allows you to have one bot to try before you need to move on to the $50 a month. And with Botpress, they allow you 5 chatbots to build, okay? So you can clearly see the difference in value proposition. It's important, I'd say, to use both and use the one that you like most, but I'd suggest to start with Botpress because it's free and yeah. You don't have the pressure of building something, because you have to pay $50 the next month because you've built 2 chatbots. All right. So let's sign in. And for this video, we're going to create a new chatbot for you guys. So let's do it. So congratulations, made a new chatbot. Okay, so this one is going to be our Airbnb chatbot. I'm going to click edit and yeah, let's go. So you're going to start from scratch. Okay, click use template, even though it's starting from scratch. I don't know why they put it like that. Before we move on to the build of the chatbot, I want to quickly let you know about the 2 main functionalities that we will build on this chatbot, okay? So the first functionality is the one where we will allow the chatbot to connect to a Google Sheets. The second one is going to be the ability for the chatbot to retrieve information from a knowledge base. And in this knowledge base, we are going to feed it information about the Airbnb policy. So all the information about what time you have to check in, so on, okay? So let's get to it. This is a card, by the way. You can call it a card, and then you can call it actions. So the things that are below, you can call it actions. Okay, I don't know the exact way that they call this stuff, but that's how I'm going to call it in the case I have to mention it, okay? So we welcome the user, right? So what we are going to do is we're going to capture information in the form of a raw input, okay? Just a quick lesson. So all the chatbot is going to expect an answer from the user, okay? This is because we can expect the user to send an input to the chatbot in some format, okay? So what I mean is that if you want the input from the user to be in some format, then you can do so. So for example, if you have phone number and you put it in and you want to ask the user for a phone number, if the user types a letter or a word or a phone number that doesn't make any sense, what Botpress is going to do is that it's going to ask the question again. So yeah, this is something I like about this. So in this case, we want a raw input because I'm going to show you a method that is going to make the chatbot respond in a more sophisticated way, okay? but we'll get to that soon. So let's first ask the question. So let's welcome them here as well. Let's say, hi, I hope you are having a great time in our Airbnb. How may I help you? Okay, all right. So I suggest that you store this in a variable. So by this, I mean the input that you're going to receive from the user. So let's store it in a variable called welcome query. Just do that and you press enter. You're going to see here the variables, okay? So we're going to deactivate this because we're going to put it in a more reasonable way. You can ask it to answer with a knowledge base, but yeah, we're going to leave that for another card. So once the user puts in its input, we're going to add in another action where it's going to track what the intention of the user is, okay? If the user wants to raise feedback, or they actually have questions about policy or whatever, okay? So we're going to get the previous input from the user, okay? And that is what this AI transition action is going to analyze, okay? We can store this variable. So welcome query intention, if you may. And what this is going to do is that we're going to give the AI an intention or several intentions that we want to understand from the user's query, okay? So the first one is we want to see if they have a concern, all right? Questions, the second one is going to be questions about the Airbnb or Airbnb policy. And I think that's it. I think we're going to do these two, okay? If they want to raise a concern, we're going to add a node or a card, and we're going to move this far at the end so it doesn't disturb us. So if they want to raise a concern, then we're going to do like this, and we are going to ask it. We're going to ask the user, what do you want to tell us about? Okay, and this input, we're going to store it in concern. Okay, and we're going to remove this, and what we're going to do is whenever they answer the concern, we're going to capture a, where is it? Oh, I'm going to capture the name of the person. Okay, so if I can ask, what is your name? Or we can say, if I could ask, what is your name? Okay, and we're going to store this in this variable. And once they have raised this concern, then what we're going to do is we put their name, we put their concern, right? Actually, something that I forgot is that this raw input, it was welcome query, is going to have the information about the concern already, so we don't need to add another concern, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to delete that. We're going to go here. Okay, I mean, you don't need to, but it makes everything cleaner whenever you make more complex chatbots. You can come here and basically delete the variable. Okay, so we're gonna collect their name. That's fine. And we're going to also collect the phone number, which is here. Oh, we can tap it as well. So remove this and let's make, oh yeah, person phone number. And yeah, oh, something else that I forgot is that we're going to add another AI transition, another intention, which is that the user might be asking for give some feedback. Okay, so let's continue with this. So imagine they raised a concern. We're going to pick their name, their phone number. What we're going to do actually is going to add some text here. We're going to send the user, I am sorry to hear that. Okay, just to make it look a bit nicer. So what are we going to do with this information? So we are going to send this information to Google Sheet, okay? And for us to not have to write code to automate that process, we use make.com or make, okay? This is my favorite no-code automation platform, and I use it in my agency as well. So I'll show you later how to set this up. But basically, you send that to make, and then make will send this information to Google Sheets, okay? And the Google Sheet is here. So this is a very simplified version of it. So we're going to collect this information, okay? All right, so how are we going to send this information? Very simple. We're going to add some code here. So we're going to add the send to make node. We're going to add the execute code card, and then we're going to paste the following code. Okay, I will leave the code in the description of this video, so don't worry. And all you have to do here is to change what's between the quotation marks, okay? This is the URL that will take the information that we collected from the user onto make.com. I will actually explain you later on how to get this. I want to first finish the logic of the chat. So let's leave that there. And then I will add a card here saying that I have noted this information and I will call you given the phone number that you provided, right? Call you through the phone number that you provided. We are going to add anything else, and here we're going to check if the user wants anything else to resolve, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go and capture a single choice. I'm going to put, is there anything else I can help you with? And we're going to put it on a variable called anything else. All right. And we're going to put yes or no. All right. So in the case that they actually want another question or query or whatever answered, then we're going to drive them back here, okay? But there is an issue. The issue is that if I grab this and I move it here and I connect it here to this card, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna pass first through this, and they have already seen this at the start, right? So what we can do instead, in order to make this flow a bit more professional, is that I'm going to create a new node. I'm going to make this node only for the AI transition, okay? I'm going to drag this here, I'm going to move this here, okay? And then we connect this here. So the flow is essentially the same, nothing has changed, but now I have put this by itself so that whenever the user has anything else to say, I can drive them straight to here without having them seeing the welcome message. And in the case that they don't want anything else, we will take them to the end card. And in the end card, we are going to come over here, conversation end, and this is what they're going to see whenever they reach to the end, okay? So what we're going to put is we're going to add some text here, and we will say, I hope I managed to answer all of your questions, okay, whatever. And then to make it a bit more natural, I'm going to put it in another message and say, have a great day. And then we can put it something like that, okay? That's what they're going to see when we reach this node here, okay? So on this section, we are going to access the knowledge base. So what I have done is that I have prepared a sheet where we have some information about this specific Airbnb, okay? So stuff about canceling the reservation, they need to, maybe not too relevant, but the check-in and check-out time, the maximum occupancy of the properties, you can only allow for guests, deposits, all that. No smoking. So you get the idea. And what you're going to do now is you're going to download this as a PDF, all right? And once you have done that, you're going to go back to Botpress and go to the knowledge base section, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to drag in the PDF, and there you go. So now it's indexing it, and now it finished the indexing, and now it should be available as soon as you add a module or an action that requires a knowledge base. Now we're going to go back to main, and now we're here. And in order for the user to ask questions about the policies, we need to add another node, okay? And we're gonna call it answer knowledge base. And we are going to put, this can be done many ways, but one of the ways is by adding an agent which goes to your knowledge base and completes the query. So you see here that there's no @ like you would have in other input blocks, right? So in the case that you don't have that, what you can do, a little trick that you can do is you get one of these, I don't know how they're called, you write that, and you can put in workflow dot anything else, right? So we're going to put in this one because it's not the welcome query, it's the query from anything else, okay? So this is stored as a separate variable. So we're calling that here, and we can store the answer of the query if we want as knowledge base answer. All right. And what we can do is we will bring that here, and we will use this node as the end node for all of them. Okay. So we're going to do something similar like we did in the concern for the feedback one, okay? Since we already have the information of the feedback in the query, and this is driven by, this just determines the transition, we are going to have something similar to this one. And then we're going to paste this card here. And we're going to put thanks for letting us know. Let's connect this here. Let's call this like that. And we grab their name, their phone number as well, although it's not necessary because we're just receiving feedback. And what we're going to do is we're going to do similar to here. We're also going to send this information to make, okay? Let's call it to make 2. And let's link this here. All right. And then we'll link it here to anything else. And there you go. So there you have it. If you want me to make a similar one for your Airbnb business or any other sort of business, let me know. You can work with us and we will deliver something proper. To recap, we have the raise the concern section, right? We have the one where we ask it regarding the knowledge base, and we have the one where we ask the user to give us some feedback. So I realized a couple things that I want to correct, okay? So the first one is on person name, okay? So through experience, I realized that the type of value that you extract, right, is person name. When you pass this to make.com is not able to process this properly because person name, as it is here, comprises of 2 objects, first name and last name, okay? So for some reason, make.com has a hard time processing this when you push it onto Google Sheets, okay? So what you can do is change the type of value to extract to raw input, okay? This would be the same as putting in a raw input card instead, but we just changed the value to extract, same thing. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to refer to person name again, right? And we're going to do the same right here. So change this to raw input and then person name, okay? Great. That's the first thing. The second thing is on the knowledge base. With the knowledge base, what happens is that, especially if you pick this one, right? You can do it several ways. You can also use, I think it was an AI task or one of these to access the knowledge base. But in this case, I chose the agent here. Same thing. So what happens is that we're going to store the answer in a variable, but we don't have any means of showing the answer back to the user in this case, right? So if you're going to use this agent, then you have to put in a text module or card, and you're going to mention the knowledge base answer there. So now it will be shown to the user, okay? And one last thing is right here, you see that the AI transition has 3 different routes to take. But in the case that it does not understand any of these, what's going to happen? Well, the flow is going to stop. So what we're going to do is, it's common practice to put an expression card here and just leave it as always. And what we're going to do is we're going to reroute this back to the same card. What does this mean? So in the case that the AI is not able to categorize the query into any of these, it's going to ask the user again, okay? So basically adding this on a card prevents the chatbot from finishing the conversation, okay? So I actually recommend you to copy this and paste it on your other flows, okay? And edit accordingly so that the conversation just does not end in case there is an error on each of the cards, okay? So I'm going to do that there. Just a quick fix in order to, in this case it can't fail, right? Because it's either yes or a no. But in this case it can fail because in the case the code doesn't run for some reason, right? So I'm going to paste it here as well. And oh, what happened? I'm going to paste that there, and then another always here, and then another always right here. Oh, and here as well. So now we've made the chatbot a bit more error proof. In the case that we find an error, it will not stop in the conversation and it will continue if it can. These are definitely some things that you will learn as you keep building in Botpress, but I guess it's nice for me to tell you now anyways. All right, so now that the flow is completed, what we can do is that I can show you how to get this URL, okay? Let's go to make and let's create the automation through there. All right, so if you use the link that I left in the description, you're going to get to here. And yeah, if you haven't already, sign in through the link that I left in the description. Or if you have an account already, you can just log in. All right. And we are going to go to the main dashboard and just create a scenario. All right. And first of all, we are going to add a webhook module. So we're going to receive data from a webhook. You can add a new webhook, so make sure you put a name that makes sense. Okay, so here I can put receive data from Airbnb bot, for example. All right, so now once you name that webhook, you're going to see here that it has generated an address. So you're going to copy the address to the clipboard. And once you have done that, you're going to go back to Botpress, all right? And you are going to paste it right here. There you go. So you have that one, and then you're going to change this one, all right? Right here like this. The chatbot should be complete now. And what we have left to do is that once the user engages with the chatbot and reaches one of these cards, we have to make sure that once the chatbot sends this information to the webhook URL that we placed, we have to ensure that make.com receives that information properly. Let's open this webhook, and what we're going to do is that we're going to click redetermine data structure. So now make.com is listening for your data. All right, so now we come back to Botpress, and what we do is that we're going to start the conversation. Let's activate the chatbot, and let's say my fridge broke. All right. Now it's running this step, right? So now we're going to go back and we'll see that the incoming data has been successfully determined. Great. So now we can get on building the next step, which is adding the Google Sheet module. So we're going to go here, then you're going to go here, and you are going to sign in with Google, your Google account. And then once you have completed the verification, you're going to come back to make, and you select a file. You're going to select your tracker file, whatever it is on your Google Drive. So let's do that. Guest info tracker, sheet name is sheet 1. We don't have any more sheets. Table contains headers. If you select yes, then you're going to have a sneak peek at how the columns are named, right? And this is exactly how they are named, right? Guest name, phone name, and query. Great. So since we determined the data structure already, we're going to click here and we're going to see the 3 values, right? We have determined this back in Botpress in that piece of code that I've shown you. So this comes very handy. So now we're going to click, select name for guest name. On phone number, we click phone number, and then we add that query. And that's it. That's it for make. Okay, and don't forget that if you want to keep running this at all times so that you don't have to click run once and then engage with Botpress, what you need to do is that you need to come back down here and click scheduling, okay? You're going to turn that on. And to ensure that it is running, you're going to go back here. Actually, first save the workflow, the scenario, and then you come back, okay? And then you ensure again that this is on. Great. So now this is working in the background. All right, so what have we done so far? We have built the entire chatbot flow, and we have connected this chatbot to Google Sheets via Make. Okay, so what we have left is to connect the chatbot to WhatsApp. Okay, this is going to be the most difficult step, so make sure to tune in and listen to what I say step by step. I thought it would be wise to create a little guide that you can use yourself to follow along with this video, right? It shows step by step how you can complete the WhatsApp integration. So if you want to download it and watch the video at the same time, have a look at the description. I left a link to download this. So the first step is to publish the bot. So we're going to go back to Botpress and you're going to select publish. Okay, so give it some time. All right, so now it's published. Right, so now we're going to go to Meta, okay, and you're going to create a Meta for developers account. And once you have made that, we are going to create the app, okay? So I'm going to show you how that goes. So once you created your account, then we're going to create an app, okay? We're going to click other, okay? So we are able to access WhatsApp integration, and you're going to select business as well to be able to once again access that WhatsApp integration. Then call it whatever you want. And so you're going to create the app right here, and there you go. So now your app is created. You have the app ID right here, and you're going to scroll below and you're going to click set up on the WhatsApp card. Okay, so this would add the WhatsApp integration onto your app. As you can see here, you see now that you have WhatsApp on the left, and you're going to select the business account. They always change the names. So you create your business account, or you create it if you don't have one, and you select continue. All right, so this first part of the setup is done. Now we're going to go to the bot, back to dashboard, okay, and your bot, we're going to go to integrations, browse in hub, select WhatsApp. Now we are going to install this integration onto your chatbot. Go to the chatbot dashboard, and here you have these 3 fields that are in blank, and now we're going to fill them up, okay? So for verify token, you can put whatever you want. I'd say for you not to forget, put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then for the access token, we're going to go back to the meta site and we're going to go to API setup. All right. Which just gets you one section below. Okay. So now we are here, and what you need is to grab this temporary access token, copy this, go back to the bot and paste it right here. And then you have the default number ID. Again, you go back here and you see here below that you have that ID. You copy that and you paste it right here. Okay. Before we save configuration, remember to enable the integration and then we click save. Okay. Great. So now we're going to copy this webhook. Okay. Copy it to your clipboard. Go back here. And now we're going to go to configuration, and here you're going to click edit, and the callback URL is that webhook that we just copied. All right, there you go. And the verify token is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you click verify and save. And then what we're going to do is we are going to click manage here, and we're going to scroll down until you see the messages one. Okay, so we click this one, we subscribe to it, and then we click done. Okay, great. So now that we've done that, we're going to go back to API setup, and what we're going to do is you're going to select a recipient phone number. Okay, so right now you probably don't have any, so click and add yours, and there you go. So now what we're going to do is send a message, and what will happen is that you will receive a message from the test number onto the WhatsApp number that you added. Okay, and if you have received that message, big congratulations, because that was the hardest part of this video. This is the part where people struggle the most, connecting Botpress to WhatsApp. Now you're able to collect information from Google Sheets, and the conversations are able to happen on WhatsApp. So I'm going to show you a demo of how that looks on WhatsApp on my phone, and how does the collected data look like. All right, so I'm on my phone on my WhatsApp. As you can see, that first message is from the setup that we did previously. I'm going to put hello so that I can activate the chatbot from my WhatsApp, and we get a welcome message. Hi, I hope you're having a great time in our Airbnb. How may I help? I'm going to put that my wall has a hole in it to test it. And we should get the AI intention to be the concern, which is correct. Now the chatbot will collect the information that it needs, the name and the phone number. I'm going to type a random phone number, of course. And then you're going to see that the information gets logged in on the Google Sheet. Right, pretty cool. So I'm going to say that I want to get some more help. So I click yes. And now we're going to try asking the knowledge base. So I think I'm going to ask about how many guests can I accommodate in my Airbnb. So let's see if it retrieves the information correctly from the knowledge base, and it does correctly, and so that means that works properly. So now I'm going to go to the last AI intention, which is to gather feedback. So I'm going to say that I really like your furniture. So let's see if it collects the right AI intention. So yes, that works perfectly, and it's going to go into collecting the user information as we did before on the first intention, my phone number and my name, and you can see that the data gets logged in on the Google Sheet as expected. So that's perfect. I'm going to say no because I think we went through all of the flows. And great. So that works. Perfect. As you were able to see, you can surely understand the use cases that this has for an Airbnb host. You can collect any inquiries they have in the case that they need assistance at their Airbnb, or if you want to collect other information to use for reviews or as reference. And if you want to remove yourself from the assistance process as much as possible when the guest needs simple questions answered. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like this type of content, and if you want to give me any feedback or ask something, let me know down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe so that I can keep providing high value content like I have done in this video. Thank you and see you soon.